Have you ever struggled to find that one pesky formula that you so desperately need for your maths assignment during 2 days' time?
Have you ever stayed up all night trying to wrap your head around convoluted explanations of Coulomb's law, which you so desperately need for your physics test tomorrow?
Look no further, because mathemagic is your answer.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Ethan, and welcome to our Delorean project.
Mathemagic is a website dedicated to teaching basic to intermediate mathematical concepts required by many maths and physics students.
Mathemagic takes concepts directly from the QCAA, which are taught in high schools across the state, and condenses them into easy-to-understand explanations, each with their own online calculators and examples.
So why have we decided to start this project? The answer is quite simple. We have spent countless hours trying to find a website that explains these mathematical concepts so that high schools can understand. We also wish to have an easy-to-access library of calculators that can efficiently calculate abstract formulas for students in a hurry.
Surely websites like this already exist. Well, yes, but they are either too complicated, contain excessive amounts of ads, are hard to navigate, or in some cases are downright slow.
So,
It's dropped.
There you are.
okay.
Cool.
So,
That's an interesting idea.
so this we actually have something.
Pretty
If
much.
you have your computers,
Yep.
well, we can get on it ourselves. So this is what Mathemagic currently looks like.
Yep.
So it's a website?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here you can see there's the different pages with the information you're looking for. There's a few things I think we're going to need to change, but it's a lot simpler than, say, Wolfram Alpha. I've seen that and it's good.
So this is the main page. It'll have
Yep.
the main scientific topics that use maths, like physics, chemistry. Haven't worked on chemistry yet. We've mainly been working on physics. These pages are actually pretty much completed. And what the user can do, they can find the subject they're working on, physics, and they can look for something like distance, speed, time, Ohm's law. And they can select something, for example, Ohm's law. And we're planning on having a login, so a subscription service, where either schools can purchase a subscription or personal subscriptions. You log in, and then you come to the page you've clicked on. Has a calculator, so you can convert things just quickly.
Including rounding, because sometimes it ends up winding off the bar.
Yeah. Word formulas to actually try to explain it. So power equals voltage times current. List of rearranged formulas. Yeah, there's a lot.
One problem we had trying to find websites, I was once trying to find in an equation one of the variables, but I couldn't find how to find that specific variable because I couldn't find how the equation rearranged anywhere on the internet. So
that's helpful if you don't know how to rearrange equations. Also has example questions, which I think would be really beneficial for some things, like solve for power, toaster's on a 240 volt circuit, it draws 5 amps, what is the power rating of the toaster? Kind of like practical questions, and it shows you the working out and then the answer.
So this shows how those formulas are used. So these help for people trying to learn it.
Yeah, so it takes the formula, substitutes in the values, and then gets the answer. And I think that's the last slide.
And what we need from you guys is either we need funding for a domain name.
It's
but it's not.
It's like $25 a year, and it's like $1 for the first year. But yeah, that's something we're looking for if we can somehow find this.
And also, we could use contacts and advice when it comes to spreading the website around. So currently, it's not in a stage we believe is ready to be distributed all the way around the world. But we'll need people to help us doing that in the future. So contacts do it.
I had a joke. We had to change it. Imagine what else the DeLorean. Imagine what else the DeLorean could do if Doc had mathemagic.
I like it.
Alright,
Cool.
thank you.
Well done. You've bitten off quite a big set of topics there.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
big, it's big.
this is a big thing that curriculums try to do as well, and
Yeah.
it's quite a large. I used to work for a business in America who tried to do these sort of things. This was back in the paper days on books,
Okay.
and they were a bestseller of mathematic books that I was selling at the time, and they were massive outfits, and they're selling this sort of idea in book form across America. So I know the size of this area, and of course the market is big as well because it's everyone who's at school.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a big project. What you mentioned, the content. So the way I see it, you've got 3 ideas. You've got 3 parts of this project. You've got to find the content. So the VIR formula is true, and your voltage and wattage is in speed equals distance divided by time.
Yeah.
Nice one.
That's an example of it.
So how would you be able to get all that data onto, because there's a decent number of equations, there's calc, trigonometry, Pythagoras. How would you get that on there?
Manually.
Manually, via YouTube.
Yeah. So all those pages there have been made by us.
It doesn't take too long.
Mostly, we've spent a lot of time refining what the page looks like, and I actually have a few things I want to add, so it would actually look different in next week.
Yeah.
But once we actually have the final layout, then it's just a matter of copying the template that we have, then just changing the values that we need so it says the correct things, and then make more.
So we have a bunch of templates. Some like calculators use the same function. You might think that, why not just use a website builder because it'd be easier, and it would be. It's just the the back end of the website is too complicated with the calculators to do that. Too much food.
Interesting. Yeah.
If you want, we can actually show you it
If you're
working,
interested.
because it currently runs off Ethan's computer.
Yep.
So it's not a website, but so so you put it into a...
So the website only exists on my MacBook.
Got you, okay.
You
Sorry.
can actually access it within the school if my MacBook screen's open.
That's okay. I mean, if you can.
Yeah, show us. Yeah.
Yeah, show us what you've got.
Yeah, so
Oh,
technically, if you have your own computers here now and are connected to the school network, you can access it yourself.
No, tell us the website.
Sorry?
Tell us the website.
So it's just called Bob Slash.
Oh yeah, so it only works if you connect to the school
Yes,
Wi-Fi. You are?
we are.
Yeah, we are.
Then it
Bob
works.
slash.
Bob
On it.
slash.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah.
work?
Yeah.
Yes, we're a guest. It won't work.
That would not work. Okay,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
We really need that domain name.
I don't know
Okay.
why it's
So
so
you've
messed
got-
up.
Okay, so yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
How are you? So you mentioned that you two are going to spread the word.
Well, no, we need contacts to help us with that. 'Cause
Okay, so how are
we're
you
not-
planning to go? Have you tested the market? Have you asked students?
We've asked students about this, yeah.
Yeah.
What did they respond?
They would really love to have something like this.
And so I assume your market is the schools.
Mostly,
Correct?
yeah.
Mostly.
Now, what if schools do not opt in? And I realize and acknowledge that you mentioned that it's a subscription model. What if the school does not opt in and students want, like myself, if I'm a student, I want that support.
Yeah.
So do you have a freemium version
that
versus
would-
a subscription version?
Yeah, we could do that, or the student themselves could get like a personal subscription, which would be a lot cheaper. than
So you've
also-
so what's the subscription model looking like?
It's
so,
either.
well,
So
okay,
you-
so you pay for a subscription and that'll give you access to the actual pages.
Okay.
And we're thinking maybe there should be a more advanced side of the website they can only access with a subscription and then a free version.
It's currently a little bit up in the air.
Or it could be like
Nice.
those websites
Okay.
that say remove ads and access more features with a subscription.
Okay.
There's lots of different options.
Have you spoken to the school?
Yeah, Mr. Libby's shown interest himself.
I'm their physics and math teacher, and I really kind of like this because QCA at the moment just have a list of formulas, but the kids really struggle to know how to manipulate them.
Yeah.
So these guys are in my Year 10 physics class.
Mm-hmm.
I know my Year 11's going through at the moment are getting really frustrated with having to remember rearranging and just even like when we're doing quick problems, seeing where things are. So do you guys want to show them just the distance time formula?
Yep. So
That's a good one.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah, distance speed time. So it's just a simple formula.
So distance equals speed times time.
And the rearranged
So that's the rearranged formulas.
that'll help.
Oh,
To
very
find
good.
distance, speed, or time. And the calculator above has input boxes for all the variables, plus a rounding box, so you can choose how much it rounds. So what you do is you put in two variables.
For example, yeah, if you wanted to travel 100 kilometers and you were going at 50 kilometers an hour, how long would it take? And do I need the rounding?
Yeah, you need the rounding.
That'll take you 2 hours.
Yeah.
But
So did you feed that number or it calculated itself?
it calculated the
Oh, yeah,
it calculated the hours there.
Yeah, so that's just rounding. That's like to how many decimal places. It wouldn't actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's just the decimal places because
Oh,
otherwise.
yeah, so it
goes off
calculated
the
the time, it calculated itself.
Yeah.
Very
And
good.
if you remove
So it's a
say,
calculator in itself.
and you can calculate it.
Ah, right.
And also,
Understood.
say we take our
Very good.
distance, it will calculate distance from the two numbers. So
Yeah.
it takes the two numbers it has, calculates the third number, no matter which way around they go.
Okay. And so this is rather simple, but when we talk about trigonometry and calculus and all those,
Yep.
what would be recommended is to have a definition. Why is it, how it can be used, and why is it useful?
Yep.
Because people who are not mathematically savvy,
Yeah.
it's just numbers for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the gist comes in. We haven't made that
No,
yet because
This is
that's-
just a suggestion coming through.
Mm.
So you know, what I don't know what the other sharks think, but that's from my recommendation.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a brilliant idea, really. I mean, I just, as long as it's not a substitute for learning, you know.
Yeah.
But it sounds like to me, like if you've come up with this and you've been able to, you know, scour the internet and find and enter it in, I think it's a great formula. It is going to be very tricky to actually get it off the ground. Like, it's almost too big, isn't it? Like, that's the thing that worries me. So I think you're probably going to have to work very closely with the school and your maths teachers to actually make this one happen. This could probably be one of the best. I've done Shark Tank for the last 3 years, and like, this is just massive. Like, it's almost too big for me to kind of get my head around it, because it's just so endless as well. Like, trying to put in all of those formulas for everything. I mean, you've only just clicked on chemistry. I mean, you can just keep going. For me, you'd almost, I don't know, if it was, I'm trying to put it back into basic terms, but if you'd almost want to focus on one area like physics and literally that, and just almost close off there.
Start with that as an MVP.
Just start with one thing small. If you can absolutely nail something really well, you know, rather than trying to do too many things,
Or
and then you
year
just get lost in
groups.
space.
You know,
Maybe a year
groups.
group.
You go.
Yeah, that could
Physics.
work.
Right? What are we using? We're using ohms and relative whatever distance speed time, but we're not using. Or for example, maths. We're not using calculus yet because we're not that stage or trig.
Yeah.
But we are using Pythagoras. So get those ones in type stuff.
Yeah, so you click on a year
At
level.
least you
I
know
think-
you've got
I
a
think
year
you're on something
completely
there.
cemented.
Yep.
Currently, the
Um,
QCAA sheet doesn't actually divide it by years. It
Is
just
that
says
right?
everything you need.
It just has everything.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because
But-
with senior physics it's 11 and 12.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically,
It doesn't
physics-
have to be. You just have to know that if someone in your year, you've got them sorted.
Yeah.
Type thing, so that as Luke
Yep.
said, you've basically got. We're not going to an explosion of different stuff and going too big. We've actually consolidated something
Mhm.
that is manageable.
Yeah, and you said that there's something similar to this on the internet already, but it's full of ads and all sorts of things. Is there not a way around that where, because typically I find if you actually want to get the information, you do have to sign up and pay $19.95 or whatever it is. So maybe I'm just concerned that because you know you haven't actually gone and actually done that, maybe you should. I'm going to give you some money, but I would actually like you to use it towards maybe signing up to something, just even if it's for a month, to get rid of all those ads and all the kind of chaos that comes up on a web page, to see if you can actually see something like this working that you could refine better. Because typically, most of the ideas that you come up with often have been done.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is just kind of clear out the traffic and go, okay, how can we do this better to make it more formulated so that kids like me at school can actually access it and it's not a pain in the neck. If you can find that formula and make it like $5 a month or something, and maybe a school could buy a subscription for the whole year, then I think you could be onto something. But my advice would be speak to your maths teacher like regularly here, and maybe approach some math teachers of other school affiliates that you've got that you could, and actually just continue to speak to more people about it. I just feel like you're going to need a lot of guidance on this. This is just
Mr. Caps, our math teacher, has connections we could pull on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he talks
He
to
knows-
people all
He knows a
around
lot
such
of people around. He's well
So,
known. So
yeah.
Can
Keep
I
going.
pitch it?
Yeah.
I would recommend you to approach different schools.
Yeah.
So we've got schools near the university, we've got schools on the Sunshine Coast, so connect with chancellors, and I'm happy to connect you with the mentor there that can help you through to just inquire whether that product will the school be interested to invest in it. But you really need to think about the model that would support this, primarily from the money factor, financial factor, because in order for it to survive, it needs to be famous among students. So students can pursue the school to use that product, because there are a lot of resources out there at the moment.
yeah.
You need to think about an app, so students can use it on their phones when they're out and about. What are the criteria when they are, and perhaps even like for example over there, while it has given the formulas, when it gets very complicated, it goes in a long division format. You might want to show that workout, so when they're working out the formula, they're like, oh, we've made an error here. So identify the error where it has been made so that they can work on it themselves.
And show how it's
Yes,
Yeah.
because otherwise this is a great tool, but students would fail to work through it. They're like, I don't understand, how did that calculation come about? So perhaps a hidden formula, so for a detailed calculation or answer, please click here. So when they click here, they see the entire long division or whatever is coming through.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Your examples, because you said you've got examples of questions, I think that's really quite a really nice feature, because everybody's going, oh, I've got a VIR question, what's the example look like? Oh, that's an example. And do you know how you do your past papers and you're prepping for an exam? Half the time, or 90% of the time, you're looking at past examples. So I think you'll find that the more examples you've got of a speed distance time equation or whatever, you'll get more. You'll have quite a lot of people looking to work through the examples.
Yeah.
I like that bit. The thing you mentioned, and I liked, you think you need to get a domain name from, for example, like GoDaddy for $25 or type things,
Yeah.
and that is to then get your website, which is at the moment on the sort of school platform, and that's to get it onto the World Wide Web. Yeah. Can I give you $20 for your pitch towards that? And I think that is a valuable idea, because if you can get things, get a domain, you start adding as much as you can. At least it's now shareable with the outside world. Because I think at the moment you're within the space of the school, and that could be approached. Then you can speak to the next school, and you can speak to other kids that you know around the area, and that would be a good way of sharing your platform as best you could.
Okay.
We actually had a maths conference, something in the chapel like last week, where they actually had maths teachers from lots of schools come here. I'm not sure what it was for, but
If we could share it at one of those,
Yeah, that's
that
it.
would be perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly the one.
So this earlier sort of stage here, you need to add some more different equations and get it looking as best as you can, and then start sharing it. I do see it being on the web as your mechanism. There's no other way, I think. So I think you GoDaddy or any domain name, they're fairly cost effective.
Yeah.
And you can get them for a year. I've seen something $9.99. Just get a domain name that is relatively inexpensive.
actually I think it's like $1 for the first hand and
Yeah, and
$25 every year after.
Yeah, and they give quite nice ones for $9.99 though. So see, if the dollar one was a complete farce of a big long, mathematics RS.com, then maybe go for the $9.99 one and go or $12.99. I think I got one for 14 once, and I quite liked it. And it was 2 words put together. That's your quickest way to look through the domain names. It's quite good fun actually. Have you done that yet?
I've had a
Go on GoDaddy. It's good fun.
Yeah.
Type it in, see if it's there. $9.99 is done.
The other aspect would be to get support on, I don't know, is either of you well versed with web and the background in the web, how they create the website and the analytics and all that information. Because what would happen is that you need to monitor traffic, how many students or
Yeah.
age group that come through, so you know exactly your target audience. Is it parents, or is it students, or is it teachers? You need to identify who the market is so that they can go further.
Yeah.
Could I like a quick button that says, are you a student, teacher, parent?
Yes, so
That'd
you
be
know it
within
just
the
pops
login.
up. So you know you can choose the category, but because it would be primarily that category. So if that you can have that analysis, that would help you refine your audience further.
Yeah.
So that would be very good information and intel.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll be giving you $20 as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm happy to give you. I'll give you $20 as well, but I'd like that $20 to go towards a subscription, like even if it's just for 1 month. Make sure that you tell your parents you're doing it, so you can't and cancel it, so it doesn't go on for 12 months and then it being $240. Probably my problem because I said it. But yeah, I'd like you to scour the internet a little bit more and find the absolute best one that you can sign up for.
Yeah.
And not like a 2-day trial,
Yeah.
like literally pay $20 and pay it and just see what else is there. And in that month, try to pull apart the website as much as you can and just see what you don't like about it, what you could fix, what you could improve. Because yeah, I still have a feeling that this has to have been done somewhere at some level, but doesn't mean you can't improve it and make it great and much easier for school students to use. Because clearly, if you found it hard, you guys are smart guys. If you found it hard to find, then God help the average kid,
Absolutely.
right? Because to me, you guys are
You know your
obviously A grade mathematical students. You know, there's no doubt about that. So yeah, if you get a C or a D grade student who's trying to,
No chance.
he's in big trouble.
Yeah.
At this stage. Yeah.
I actually think in specialist maths next year they do sine waves, and oh my gosh, it was so hard finding information.
Yep.
The best source of information was actually Wikipedia.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it was. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. So I've actually been compiling stuff just so that I remember how to do it. But this isn't. I've just been working on this for a bit. But,
That's cool.
hmm.
and it's like the general form and then disambiguation.
So,
And
There's
then
a
little
sine
graph.
wave. Yeah.
Mm.
But it was so hard finding information. I don't know why.
That's clever.
I can't imagine anything like it on calculator soup.
I tell you what, if you guys keep writing stuff down like this,
You're gonna be maths geniuses at the end
like
of
at
it.
some stage in the next 10 years, this will pay off if you continue with this kind of
Yeah.
it's mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
mathematical.
And I'm right in thinking this platform here, because this isn't like a WordPress website, this isn't a Shopify. This platform, you have access to this platform, so you can upload as much data as you like. So the only thing you really need is this domain name. Is that right?
Yeah, just.
Because that's genius as well. Because most of the time you have to have a WordPress website.
Yeah.
What is this platform?
It is a WordPress.
It's typing platform.
Hey.
So we could just code it ourselves.
Right,
it
you're just
might-
doing
wow.
all this, you're just doing all this yourself.
It's just documents full of text that we've made ourselves.
So I'm quite impressed with
That's
that.
very impressive.
I mean, I use WordPress
we
and it's kind of plug and play, but
Yeah.
you seem to be doing this from
the next level.
from
Are
Are we
zero.
using Bootstrap or not?
Yeah, we're using Bootstrap. That's like a framework.
Okay, so
Not like WordPress though. But we
There's
started
no group after these guys,
Oh,
so
cool.
you guys can keep going.
So we can
If
keep
you want
chatting.
to
No,
talk
it's,
more,
it's
Oh, can we? Okay, well, let's give him that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the framework you're using?
So it's
Bootstrap is just a sort of tool for using CSS.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It just helps out with a lot of formatting.
Interesting.
Because otherwise
So
it
where did you
gets-
learn the CSS then?
I think the best site for actually learning code is
W3
W3 Schools, definitely.
Oh, yeah,
But
so I
we're
use that.
self-taught.
Yeah.
We're self-taught.
Yeah,
So
literally.
you'll be like, is it HTML of any
Yeah,
kind?
HTML
Yeah,
is-
HTML. So you'll be like, what's the HTML for that? Oh, right. And you go, oh, right, now know it. And I really used to write it out on little
Yeah.
post-it notes and stick it in front of my desk.
The other
Lord.
one additional idea, my recommendation would be to have a free version instead of a subscription model
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah.
Bring in the awareness, bring in the public, get them all, active on it, and the moment they do, you've got them hooked. That's when you
Yeah.
start with
Yeah,
the
we're
subscription model.
we won't introduce subscription for a bit. We actually want people to use it. We
Yeah.
want them to be accessing it.
Mm.
And you should perhaps even have a comment for a feedback, so that
Yeah,
feedback
yeah.
comes
we
to
have a
you.
suggestion form that links to a Google form actually on the website right now.
Yeah,
it's a
suggestion form,
up there.
bug
That's it.
report.
So that links to a Google form, and then we can find any suggestions in there.
Right. Very good.
It's the kind of thing I can see. You've got a newsletter that goes out to the school parents and stuff. There's a newsletter or a
We have the Eagle.
Eagle. So it's the kind of thing I can see. You know,
You can
once
put
you've
it.
got this going and you've got it on the word, you need a domain name. I do think so that they can see it. You know,
Yeah.
you can share it on your newsletter. And however many school children are here, how many people?
How many students do you have?
It's hundreds.
1,000, right? So
Yeah,
that
probably
goes out, and you say, listen, we've got a new section where anyone can access for your pupil, your student. You can access the sine, cos, and tan waves, and all the all the formulas. And I can see then mums and dads going, well, most kids have got problems with maths. But that's just average. Everyone is not very good at maths. If you look
Yeah.
at the broad
Yeah.
history of maths, and they go, oh right, actually I can find that there. And you probably find that you get 300 hits, probably quite quickly
And
from a newsletter.
And there is no website that oh, okay, go there for maths. Like, okay, I want to buy something online, or Amazon or eBay, but it's like, oh, I want to find this maths formula.
Yeah, I agree.
What
Yeah.
website do I go to? Just search
Yeah.
it, find the right website.
Yeah.
You might actually be interested. There is a company called Schoolzine.
Schoolsy.
They provide magazines to schools, particularly.
Okay.
Newsletter, magazine.
Mm.
I don't exactly know the run, but I know they work with schools and it's
Yeah.
some sort of a newsletter. I'm happy to connect you with them as well, so that when, of course, I think it's in conjunction with the other school that you need. But if he can put you through, and you talk to that school, so you've got an opportunity to provide that platform to the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that as well.
Cool. That would be really good.
Schools have access to like 1,100 schools.
Exactly.
Phil Reardon's the CEO.
And it's not just
founder.
here; it's in England
he's
as well.
He just picked up
In England and
1,000
in,
schools
in,
around London actually,
Yeah.
just recently.
Okay, so that would actually be massive.
Oh no, Schoolzine is it's a platform where at the moment for any school who says I don't want to do my newsletter, what's happening, they can just kind of outsource it. And this company called Schoolzine will basically have your logo, the crest, the badge. They'll make a beautiful newsletter. They'll have the timetables, the P4, whatever's happening, and it's organised and managed. And that typically frees up all the teachers from actually doing it. And it's a very, very well put together model. It's
Yeah.
extremely well put together. Now he has gone gangbusters around Australia, and he's got a CEO now in London. I only spoke to him the other day, Phil.
Did you?
Yeah, just recently. I know him, and I know his son, obviously Maka. So they, the newsletter forum now, as they police and get as many different schools together. Even school uniform buying, they've got a section of that and other things. But this is down the line, if you get this looking absolutely sweet and you have your system all sorted out, if you could say, well, we've actually got a system where you can actually, for your pupil in school, this is a link to our new mathematic formula, physics formulas. There's
It'd be useful
we're talking
resource.
thousands of
Yeah.
of
And you're
concepts.
talking about
That's-
international markets. You're no longer looking at only Australia.
Yeah.
I think he's
That's
in
serious.
Indonesia as well. He's
Is it
entering.
Indonesia as well?
Well, I don't know whether he's entering that market.
probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's maths in all countries.
Yeah. So that's why I'll connect you with him, but you have to be very crystal clear on what exactly you want from them. You have to have your prototype ready, up and ready, because when you go to him, he should know that, okay, when I'm going to talk to this school, I have to show them the platform and you do the pitch to them.
Yep.
So that's very important. So the presentation needs to be further improved.
Yep.
Your website needs to be up and running, definitely. And the feedback you'd get, I mean, I'm happy to have a look later on as well. And, I think you're working with Robin Pullman.
We did speak to her.
You might need to speak to her because she will refine your pitch.
Yeah.
That pitch needs to be perfect because when you're delivering it to schools, they do not have time.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah.
Teachers
100%.
Yeah.
And I think also just be aware that there's people out there that would understand what you're trying to do, that would be excited, even more excited by it if it's their field. I would personally, I'd be emailing as many interested people that you think may be interested in this, provided you check with the school, with Rob first. But Recently, a friend of mine had an idea for an app, and he emailed this guy in Israel, of all places, thinking, just a long shot. This guy in Israel has said, yeah, I reckon that's a brilliant idea, absolutely loves it. He's got like 2 million followers or something ridiculous like that. And he's invested $100,000 in this 23-year-old guy in Queensland for this idea. They've gone halves, it's all legit, they've signed up a company. They've got people in Morocco now that are making the app. It's going to be live within 2 months, and it's a subscription-based app that helps people to understand. I think it's very complicated, but it's a niche market, and it's basically helping people understand how to, if they're doing online marketing platforms, it just gives them a lot of information as to how to clear the traffic and basically make it simpler for the average person who's starting out. Because if you've done that for a long time, so I think I would be contacting as many people as you can with your idea. You do run the risk of someone going, that's a great idea, I'm just going to go and do that. But that's okay. Most 99.9% of people that say, oh, that's really good, it gets shelved anyway. So it's less risky. But you basically need someone to get really excited by this somewhere and to kind of help you coach through it. Because you're young as well, it's the kind of thing that if it did go well and it just exploded, it would actually, it'd make the news. Like, it'd be a huge deal. And so whoever the other person that's investing, if they're 45 or 50 or 70 years old, the news media is not going to be excited by their idea, but they'll be sure as excited about a year 10 student who came up, these guys came up with this idea. It would make news if you could, so I think you have a lot of value in the fact that you're young, and people will be impressed with what you've already come up with. But you definitely need to refine what you've done. Your pitch, one's informal, one's not. You need to kind of work on a few things to make it a little bit more exciting. I think it's got legs.
Yeah. I'm really impressed.
Yes,
I'm really impressed.
definitely impressed.
You're two smart kids, and I think it's really good to be using some of this. I think it will help you yourself personally, but it also helps the entire mathematics, physics.
Get in touch with Bruce Williams.
Yeah.
Connect with him as well, because I'll connect you with Oz. Have you been with Oz Identities?
Yeah, we went on there once.
Yes, because he knows schools and he works with chaplaincy model, so that means you enter markets quite quickly if you go through that influence. But again, for everything, the first element is to create a perfect presentation that can be compelling. The other thing is create a LinkedIn profile, because that's how, like for example, when I get connected with you, I will share your contacts with others. So connect with school and ask them for that suggestion that I want a LinkedIn profile. It's purely for business. It's not like Facebook, it's not like Instagram. It's purely for business, and you're doing it's very serious. So you do anything, and any articles you write, you post it up there, and people comment on it and give you feedback. And it's a very open and very flexible platform, but it is for business perspective, and you will get quite a lot of connections with schools as well through that. Okay.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good job. And just lastly too, Mathmagic I think's already taken on there as a website.
Yeah.
So I know it's just a team name, but if you are legitimate, you've got to kind of shelve that name. You've got to come up with your own one when you do your pitch, because that's a lot of people are just going to Google that and see what they find or whatever.
We're not too sad about that.
Yeah. So just find something that's fresh that relates to the brand of basically what you're selling, because that'll be an important part of your pitch as well. Yeah. Sorry.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
No.
Alive.
Okay. Did you know a 16-year-old made $3 million from a Fortnite tournament? That's a lot of money. I'm Patrick, this is Declan, and we're doing gaming channels, but with a difference.
The current problem with YouTube is that all the popular YouTubers are uploading videos with inappropriate videos or content and lots of swearing. So our YouTube channel won't have any swearing and it will be family friendly.
How are we unique? We're unique because we will be doing family-friendly content, which we think will help little kids be able to watch their favourite game being played without having to hear swearing.
Cool.
YouTube has daily 1 billion views on mobile devices, and 30 million of those views are gaming. So we have a big target audience there. Twitch, we also stream on Twitch daily, which is a website which allows you to broadcast, broadcast live, and we'll be making money this way by getting subscriptions, donations, and ad revenue.
We also have Instagram pages, which we think will help promote our YouTube channels when we're uploading, or Twitch when we're streaming, because Instagram is a big thing now. Everyone uses it, so we think that'll help.
We are very excited about this project and hope you guys are excited as we are. Thanks for listening.
Cool. We're just going to all write a few things down probably.
Yeah, all good.
So I'll start off so you can keep writing. So isn't there YouTube Kids, or am I dreaming? Are you trying to think of something that is for teenagers more, or something like that, or what's your? Isn't there a YouTube for kids, or am I? Is it? Is there not?
There's a YouTube for kids, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's 9+ or something like that.
Okay, so you're trying to
very much for kids.
Okay, so you're trying to find one that's more YouTube for teens.
Yeah. Or,
is that?
Yeah.
We just want to broaden our target audience, so no mature content or anything.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
can get kids watching.
Kids can watch too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, I like the idea because as a parent, I'm always freaked out when they go on YouTube.
I agree.
And trying to set the settings and everything to make sure that, but still, stuff still gets through that's not right. So I think I like the idea behind it. I think it's got a good heart behind it. I think the internet, it is something that can be used for good and for evil effectively as well. And unfortunately it's very swayed a net to the negative. I personally think you're onto something, but how are you going to what you've set up so far? Is this just pictures that you've kind of cut and pasted, or what stage are we at here?
Well, we have uploaded on YouTube a couple of videos.
Yep.
We've been streaming on Twitch, and as you can see, Declan has 600 followers on Instagram already.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
So people can upload their videos as long as it passes. How are you going to set up? Is it going to be a filter system that people can then upload, and that it's going to pass the test, or do you have to actually physically watch all? How are you going to filter it?
Well, all the videos and things we post on our own accounts will be posted by us. So, and we will make sure there's none of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a reasonably slow process to build a decent kind of amount of gaming. And it's going to be just gaming. It's just going to be YouTube gaming. Okay.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah. It's tricky, isn't it?
This is a tricky one. I'm a tiny bit confused, so I'll just line up a couple of questions. So it's a YouTube channel equivalent, but not called YouTube, a different channel. Is that what you're trying to call?
Well, we have a YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, and there's also another thing we're streaming daily.
Okay.
It's called Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
But on the YouTube channel, because you just got your own personal YouTube channel, which is called, what's your YouTube channel called? S9 Declan. Yeah. Or Declan.
Yeah.
Sorry. So you've got your YouTube channel, S9 Declan. You've got on YouTube, so that's great. So, and then at the moment, anyone of your peer group or you yourselves can upload. But what you're uploading isn't a skateboarding video, it is gaming's.
Yeah, gaming videos.
So you're uploading gaming videos. and that is your, and it's not going to be for swearing or adult content.
Yeah.
So that's the pitch, the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, I had to ask those questions. I know that sounds obvious.
No, actually,
Yeah.
I
But
was a
it's-
bit confused as
it's
well.
a tricky
so
one.
It's a good one.
It's a tricky one to
So
understand.
when you say gaming,
Yeah.
now this is where you can realize my age. Are the kids going to play on it, or is it something that is being played and they watch it?
They watch us play it.
They watch you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
So we make the videos.
It's quite popular
Okay.
Yeah.
because like people want to see how I pass, level 6 of whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you film yourself being watched.
Got you.
And
Oh, well,
Got you.
you
I
film
see.
yourself. You're like, oh, look how awesome I was. I killed like 18 people. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a little bit nicer than that if it's gonna be the family-friendly one. But and then you upload.
That's
And
Got you.
it's
Got you.
evidence.
It's all becoming clear.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the target? I mean, have you analyzed that target market? Who are you targeting? Parents, kids,
Probably more kids.
Kids.
Content. Yeah.
Yeah.
but don't you think that parents need to give their permission for kids to do it, or not really? I'm just
No, it's good.
tackling
It's
this.
a good. I mean, so what is Fortnite going to be? One of the main clips that you're.
Well, we play lots of different games. It's like probably the most popular game that we're playing.
Yeah.
I also play Rocket League. I play Minecraft on occasions. Sport games like FIFA.
Yep.
Yeah, all those sort of games.
Because I know that Minecraft's I think it's quite family friendly. Like I let my kids play on that. Fortnite, I've got 3 daughters. If I had a boy, it'd probably be a much harder challenge, but I've just banned it. I'm like, you don't play it, you don't get near it, because I'm pretty sure that half the world's obsessed with it. And I don't know. I'm sure that if I was 14, I'd be all over it.
Yeah.
But I just don't like it for my kids, because they get so much screens anyway, and it's like, if I'm going to be encouraging more, it doesn't sit well, but that's just me. I think the thing that concerns me about your brand is that you're going to limit swearing. Okay, that's one part. I would, but then it's okay to go and shoot up a bunch of people and run them over in a car or whatever it is, like on the game. That's a very mixed message I've got in my mind. I'm like, what's worse, actually? A couple of, the occasional F-bomb, or teaching people how to shoot people, and you only have to go to the United States to see what a big problem it is, and it will get worse. It's going to get worse, as people get more accustomed and more, I guess, watered down and immune by, what's acceptable, what's not. So I think you might need to do some work around that and go, it's a very grey area, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
It's tricky, this one. Where are you right now, and where is it that you hope to be? What's your next step? If you were to say the magic wand, if we could give you $50 for yours, what is your next step on this project?
If
Do you see?
If you got given money,
What sort of money do you think you need, and then what would you use the money for?
Well, we'd get the money to improve our streams by getting a better camera.
Okay.
There's lots of things that could get improved, but we'll get over time.
Okay, so so it's a camera, so to speak,
Yeah, like webcam.
webcam to upload the video content or to make the videos, because the webcam would be then you'd be gaming, it watches and records what you're doing, and then you upload it.
Yeah, or you could also use the webcam to have a face cam in the top right corner, or
Yep.
if you wanted to like live stream
Okay.
like that.
So you kind of feel that you need a camera of some form of webcam,
Yeah.
and then what's the next step? Then you upload as much content as you can.
Yeah.
Take me
Stream
through.
daily, and like upload more and more on YouTube
Yep.
as it gets easier to, because it takes a while to edit videos, but if you smash through like on a Saturday, Sunday,
Yep.
you could like upload one on Monday and like Wednesday and Friday,
Okay.
and it's not actually playing on that day. It's just you record.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Get the, yeah.
Have you got editing software?
Yeah.
You got one of them? Okay.
What's the editing software you're using?
Well, I use Pro Premiere and iMovie.
What's the first one?
It's called like Pro Premiere.
Pro Premiere. Okay. Yep. Okay, so you've got them.
And then the last bit of the sequence, I see it, is then how do you get your audience? So you need a webcam, you upload it, you can undo that yourself, you edit it with your iMovie, you put the information, which is no swearing, on and nice videos onto your YouTube channel. Now that next sequence, which is probably one of the most important parts, is how do you get an audience?
Yeah.
You mentioned Instagram, so you've said a subscription, promotion, ad promotions, and donations. Have you looked at any of those in particular, or have you validated this in any way? Have you got to any sort of stage of commercializing it, so to speak, in your minds? Have you got a bit of a plan, or?
Yeah, well, whenever we go live, so we have like our own schedules.
Yeah.
I go live pretty much every day bar Friday, and I'm on Twitch. I have 35 followers, but
Cool.
you should start getting paid once you get 50 followers.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he's already got revenue.
You might for as few as 50 followers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
It's quite good.
Yes.
So you've got 30. Okay, so this is kind of the pointy end of all. This is the way you get to the business model, the kind of making it into a revenue stream. So Twitch, you've got 30 followers or 35.
Yeah.
So your ambition is to get to 50 then.
Yeah, he's got 80 right now.
Yeah, I've got 80 and made $32 Australian so far from it.
From like 2 or 3 weeks.
There's
of
revenue.
streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know the funny thing is a word called pre-revenue in a startup?
Yeah.
You're no longer pre-revenue,
Yeah.
but genuinely, and that's a big game.
Yeah.
Do you know where the people are that are following you? I mean, I know it just normally it says a web address or something like. But
Yeah.
do you know where they're from?
There is analytics of like, it doesn't say each viewer, or they're
Yeah.
from US. It just says the country they're from. It doesn't say like their
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't say where they're living. Like,
Yeah,
address.
but it says their country.
yeah,
And most of your followers, are they just out of interest? Are they Australian or US or?
Mostly Australian, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So
I
it's
wonder if
Australian.
that's to do with time. Yeah.
I mean, most viewers on YouTube are actually US, but we've been getting more Australian. So
Not that
Yeah, that's-
you'd have to get your parents' approval for this, but have you ever streamed to work out when the absolute primary best time is to try and play, so that the majority of the world's watching rather than just
Yeah.
Australia?
well, on weekends, I've been streaming a bit later than like on weekdays. So,
Yeah.
Like normally on weekdays, I start streaming around 6, end it around 9:30.
This is at night.
Yeah, at night. Yeah, 'cause I get home.
That's in the morning for the rest of the world though. You should try 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. I reckon.
Yeah.
You might triple
Get
your
from-
followers.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I'm a bit.
Yeah. Just try to think a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
What do you want to do when you guys leave school? I mean, like, is this something that you want to do? Do you really believe that you can make money out of gaming, and this is what you want to do? Is that because I know that there'd be a lot of kids like. I know that there's that one guy that made $3 million. I heard it on the news as well, which is awesome. But could you imagine how many kids that tried that didn't?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there'd be a lot. So my advice to you would be, put your heart into it, definitely, because if you
Yeah.
want to do something well, you've got to give it your all. But you may need to also think of other avenues for revenue and things that you want to do when you finish school. I wouldn't put all your hopes and dreams in one basket.
Yeah.
Because, I just feel like there must be a lot of people that are
Trying.
wanting to be watched, and maybe they've only got 2 followers or, that kind of thing happening. I think you've done well to get any revenue at all. You're probably in the top 5% already. But, yeah.
So, what's your competition?
Or anyone else that's streaming gaming pretty much.
So, how many do you have in Australia? Have you analysed that?
Yeah, well, on Fortnite, on average, there's like 60,000-70,000 people streaming at once.
No, your
viewers.
competition. So,
Oh.
who are your competition?
Yeah, well, any like major streamers.
So, in gaming, I assume
Yeah.
you're talking about. So, have you analysed how many on account?
No, well, there's plenty. There's like
Plenty.
lots of streamers. Yeah.
Okay. And so I kind of agree with Luke here. You have limited swearing, that's your unique proposition, but you need more than that, you know, and the aim is to influence, because more and more students are coming on board on games and, you know, how do they play. So, you know, some of us, the aim is to avoid people go into violence and go more into sports so that they can play realistically and on telly. So that would be my, you might need to connect with different companies and ask them that, because you're basically becoming an influencer. So if you're influencing people, you might want to influence them in a good way. So you take comments like FIFA, the basketball game, those gaming parts, or car racing, or any of those types, to improve the audience and actually target parents, because parents would be your primary target. You're selling it to parents so that parents allow the kids to play. Am I right in understanding that?
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
So I've got it right. So your target is actually parents. Although the audience
That's right.
that would be working through would be school students, depending upon the age group, but you need to communicate both with parents, and perhaps even if you can create some sort of games, that would be great, because that means there is a market. There are markets for games that are intellectually not there. Like some students love board games. If you can replicate a board game onto a electronic, it's far-fetched, but it can happen. Where do you need help?
Probably the only help we need would be improving the quality of the content.
The equipment that you've got.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much is one of these webcams, or a sort of desk cam, or what do you need? What do you think?
Well, it varies. Like a low quality one, or not low quality, but like not as good. Like they vary from like $30 to 120 to like you can go way higher. But
Yeah.
you don't need like the best of the best
Okay.
when you start.
So a decent one would get like $120 would get you a decent one.
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
And your competitors, like the other people that you're watching, do you notice a big difference in the quality
Yeah, on the stream.
of their stream?
Yeah.
Is their internet connection like make any difference, do you think, or is it? It's really a recording, isn't it? And then it posts. So it's not live. Well, kind of,
Do you know the iPhones or Samsung's? I don't know if you're allowed the phones. Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
Have you tried it with a phone at the moment? And what's the quality like with using a phone? Does it work?
Yeah, it works on phone. Like the Twitch works on phone.
Yeah.
YouTube works on phone. And all those like tablets.
How's the video?
But
it's good.
quality is good.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got a video camera thing and that, and my phone is better than my camera, my digi recorder thing. So, are you thinking that I'm just trying to work out. I've just spent about 2 weeks doing a video, and I think it's a production ready video off a phone, and it really is. And when I look at it, I go, it looks as production ready as I've ever seen something. So is the camera that you're looking for better because it's self-mounted and it doesn't move and it's ready to go?
Yeah.
Or is it the state that a camera, or is it better? Is it better than a phone? That's the question.
The actual camera.
Yeah, is a camera better than just using your phone?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were streaming, I don't think you can use your phone as your like thing.
As your stream, yeah.
But I know people click on like when you go on Twitch, there's like all these people say this person has 1,000 like viewers right now. This one only has 7.
Yeah, you need a camera.
If they have a camera in their face, you're most likely not click on the guy's
It's right
face.
there. Okay.
Okay.
I see that as a validated.
Now, when you're streaming live, how are you going to limit me following
Oh,
and writing
Nasty.
nasty things?
There's like bots that are in Twitch that delete comments like that. So like any swear words and stuff, you just
Okay.
they just delete it, or
Okay.
you can ban the guy if it gets passed anyway.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be an issue too. And then they're always a little bit smarter than the bots, I think, in a way, because
Yeah.
you can, you only have to look at a number plate on a car to work out
Yeah.
that there's a million ways you can, skin a cat, basically, So all the footy feeds and stuff that I go on, they've all found ways how to square. They'll always find a way. So you might maybe consider a no comment. Like, I would love to think that, you could almost block comments, and I mean, I know that's probably a big part of it, but
Yeah, it's a good way to interact with people. Like they
yeah,
ask
I know,
questions. Yeah.
you've got to keep the interaction. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. In order for them to respond to the comments that are coming through.
Yeah,
what
per
if you
stream.
could just make it just emojis? The clean ones. You can only
The
click on
clean-
these buttons.
Per stream, I get like an average of 300 chat messages in the actual
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so and that's like me answering them or they like.
Yeah.
But if someone says something bad, I got like 5 to 10 they're called moderators, and the people you trust
Okay.
in your stream that they can kick someone out, ban them, time them out, give them warnings. So it's not just
you're
me.
busy playing, so
Yeah,
you've got to have your mates that are
Yeah.
backup.
I
What are they called?
They're moderators,
What's
Right.
bad?
and they have a special badge next to their name.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
a whole other world.
It's a
Yeah.
whole world, yeah.
Yeah.
You're educating us,
Us.
and
Yeah, sorry if we
we
sound
apologise.
Yeah.
because I mean I was pretty good at Donkey Kong.
I love the game.
Yeah.
I love
It
the
was.
game.
I remember like jumping up and down the couch when I finally defeated
Suss that, yeah.
the
In-
one. So I absolutely know what you're feeling, and that drive to win and to want to show your mates what you've done. Like I get all that. It's great. If you can harbour that same passion that you've got for that into your business, you'll have something, I guarantee you, because most people can't do that. They do something for a few months, and then it just kind of, at the love of it kind of pitters away. I still love doing the gaming, but the business. So my concern is that any money that we give you, and I think I will give you some money towards it, is going to go towards a really good webcam.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more, streaming or whatever, but I
How
don't
do you
know if it's going to be helping you in your business. I'm concerned about that.
How do you get motivators?
Like how to get motivated.
Oh, the people that are watching your stream that you can trust. You're saying
Moderators.
Yeah, motivators.
moderators.
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 Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
So if I was the one streaming,
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
and let's just say Patrick is in my chat, and I know him in real life, I trust him, and he's active.
Yeah.
There's a thing, you click on their name, and then a sub thing comes down, and you say you could make him VIP, which is, I haven't tested that out yet.
Okay.
Moderator, which is that, and then there's also band user.
So he would be your partner. So if you're playing, he'd be a
he'd be
moderator
moderating
and
the chat.
vice versa.
Yeah.
I see.
I got
Okay.
I think I got 8 or 9 right now in my chats most of the time that are active viewers.
Yeah.
So
So you've got people that are actively scheduling in their time to log on to watch you play
yeah,
right now already.
yeah.
Mm.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Because if you think about it,
Mm.
Yep.
I'd rather be playing myself. I'd be like, screw you
Yeah.
guys, like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna.
Like,
But also, I take my hat off. You've actually no longer pre-revenue. You actually have money. I don't know how many we're going to see today, but you're probably the only people that have actually
Yeah.
come in and said, "I've got some money." And I know it's
That's
a big,
impressive,
it's
yeah.
a big
It's a
gig.
big-
Your
yeah,
first $30, and you've got 30 followers, 35 followers,
Yeah.
and 50 to get some money.
Yeah.
So
Thumbs up.
can I give you $20 towards the webcam?
Yeah.
And I'd like to see you further this. And no apologies, I don't know enough about
Yeah.
gaming and all this sort of stuff. But the way I think, if you've managed to already get some revenue, I can see you doubling your revenue, because if you can get to this 50 Twitch thing,
Yeah.
then you can get some money. So now as a pair, you're worth $60, and
Yeah.
I still say that's $60 more than you had before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something you're passionate about. I think you enjoy gaming.
Yeah.
So I always say follow what you're interested in, because it's a hard, long life if you don't like algebra and you're doing an algebra
Yeah.
startup. So you might as well do your gaming startup. And I think it's a big discipline out there. There's a lot of gamers out there, and as you work your way through, I'd like to see you finding how to monetize it and get revenue as best you can. Maybe there's a subscription, maybe there's this ad promotion type thing, people put promotions in and stuff. But I'd love to see you just,
Yeah.
if you enjoy gaming, you might as well try and make some money out of it as well.
Yeah.
You might as well.
And
So-
sorry, you go.
No. What are your plans after you graduate high school?
Well, ideally, if you could make a living off streaming or YouTube, that would be like ideal. But I'm not thinking
What's
like
your backup plan?
backup plan. Well, me personally, I want to be an electrician.
Electrician.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I want to go to uni and study journalism.
Journalism.
So, yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
Okay.
You should
Alright.
definitely do, but you should definitely pursue those two
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, we can still
We
do
would
both
recommend
at the
you
same
to,
time.
but because this is always a side stream
Yeah.
that would improve, but like everything, technology is moving very fast, and it has moved on since the time,
Since
in
Donkey
5
Kong.
years. Yes, exactly, since
King
King Kong. In 5 years, we've seen massive improvements, and it is going more and more. Virtual reality is coming in, AI is coming in, and these are analytics that you need to work through. You need to be ready for, within a couple of years, how you're going to integrate that into a virtual reality format, that you're immersed into it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a challenge for the influencers.
Yeah.
For me, you're an influencer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's great that you're wanting to influence kids positively, still in the same, gaming, which a lot of parents probably see as a negative place.
Mm.
But it's great that you're wanting to, clean it up or, make it a safer place for them to watch. So that, I think that's really clever, and that's admirable to do that. Yeah, there wouldn't be many kids that really care about that.
No, and that's your unique selling point.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity alone, are you actually quite good gamers?
Uh,
Are you like, I can pass level 10 on Fortnite before
Yeah.
someone else can? Have you got that? Because the way I see it, if you're uploading this content and you're trying to get more Twitch followers, you've got to be quite good.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you quite good?
So on Rocket League,
Yeah.
on Xbox, in the Oceania region, which is
Yeah.
most of Australia, a bit of Asia,
Yeah,
and New Zealand, I'm top 100 in that. So
Well, okay, all right.
that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's
and
very impressive.
I'm good. We're both good at Fortnite too.
Yeah.
So
You imagine how many kids are trying to play it.
Oh, listen, you've got to be
Top
good.
100 out of
Yeah.
there's like millions, billions.
that's millions.
But on Xbox, so not as many people play Xbox, but there's still.
No,
Can you
it's-
advertise that on your website
Yeah.
that you're the top 100 in? Huh?
They can look it up.
Yeah.
They cannot.
They can.
They can.
Yeah,
do
but I
that.
think like
That's
I'd
important because
really
that's a
almost
market.
like
Because that's
I
where you're
mean,
going to get your
I'm
followers.
trying to
from.
put it in basic terms, but that's kind of like putting a
It's top
gold
1%.
medal on your wine bottle. Like
Yep.
people
Mm.
that don't know will just pick it up. So-
You could be top 1 or 2% of your
Yeah,
peers.
that's very.
And if you
good.
put that in a business context, if I was top 1% of my industry, I'd be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
So you are already.
Yeah.
I like to hear if someone's good at doing something and they are doing it, because
Yeah.
it'd be a trickier game if you weren't.
Yeah, very good.
Exactly.
You gotta
And
find
in
it,
your
yeah.
pitch, I think in your pitch, I've written down here a few things for your pitch, because I like to hear these things.
Yeah.
And I don't think you've bigged yourselves up, saying you are actually very good at this. So
Yeah.
if you'd said at the start, I've written in communication things, you've got a nice pitch, but guys, we are actually the very best gamers around. We're the top 2% of our peers, and we also like to upload our content. We find because we're the top 2%, we actually get followed, and our way of monetizing that to give me the money is to get to 50 followers. If you'd said sort of that line of pitching,
Yep.
I'd be going, dude,
Yep.
you're the best at what you do what you do, and you're going to get some money, and I would just follow it like that, and you wouldn't
Yeah.
have had all us going on asking these questions. So I think actually
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, pitching's
Yeah.
hard, and you're doing this the first time,
Yeah.
so don't.
That should have been the first thing you told us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because now that I know that you're in the top 100 or whatever,
I think you're a
I'm-
dude.
now all of a sudden I'm like, you're good. Like, so you're not just another kid that wants to play games.
Mm.
Like,
You're validating yourself.
yeah, because probably of that top 100, a lot of them are probably adults too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that haven't actually, gotten real jobs. And it can be a real job. It can be, but I think it's very important that you
Have a backup plan.
have a backup plan. Not also, let's face it. You're looking at a screen.
We are adults.
Like
That's
you're
the
looking at
trouble
a
with this.
screen. You're doing this. Like, okay, I get it. Or I'm not sure if it even is that anymore. Is it still that, or is it now a gun in your hand or something?
No, it's
There's
controller.
There's keyboard and mouse as well.
Okay, yeah. So that whole virtual reality is going to just in the next 10 years is going to go leaps and bounds.
3.
You know, where people will be going to play Fortnite.
Yeah, and you actually put
In
in
a
those
warehouse.
goggles and start playing
Yeah.
because you're right in it. You're immersed into that realm.
To the world, yeah.
And and that's why violence is not really a preferred option, because it really conditions you for that purpose. And we really need to, especially because of your target market, you're talking about limiting swearing. You need to limit violence so that parents say, yeah, great, this is more, I don't know, brain challenging or
Slightly more
cleaner version of
Yeah.
it. So parents would be more, they would be your influencer in order to allow kids to play such games. Yeah, you can watch this, but you cannot watch that.
Yeah.
So you want to be in that category.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's your niche. That's your niche market
Yeah.
right there. That's
Because
completely different to what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the only differentiator. Otherwise, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just may as well come in and say, not really too fussed about the swearing, just want to make a ton of money on the top 100, and it's a completely different business plan that probably would still work. But I like the heart behind why you're wanting to clean it up. So I would not differentiate away from that, because as you get older, not swearing, it will become probably less of a issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a choice that you make, and sometimes it's a struggle that you can. So yeah, but it's probably when you're 14 and your parents tell you not to swear, it's like a really big deal, and then all of a sudden you're 19.
And then you can do what you want.
Yeah, and then when you hang out with dad when you're 42, and sometimes he swears, and you're like, hang on a second, you told me, and and they're like, oh, I've grown up. So yeah, so it's an issue for you now, but it's going to be something that you're just kind of It's good.
Good.
Yeah, I'll give you $20.
I'll give you 20.
Thank you.
So you're halfway.
Yeah.
Live. Awesome. Hi, I'm Jared, and this is Emerson, and we are Animated Industries. Now these are a few of our passions and our problems that we have discovered. Now we love to create stop motion animations revolving around anything. Now when we mean anything, we can use blue tack, we can use clay, we can use Lego, we could even use little Hot Wheel toy cars. We can do anything we'd like with them. Now we want to use creativity in videos that we make, whether it's stop motion movies or it's like effects on an app. Now we've done a few stop motion movies before, but we've had a scheduled time limit. But even just those starting off, it has come out pretty well. Now animation and effects aren't used to their greatest potential in some movies or some videos that you see on YouTube these days. A few movies there has been effects even used, and they haven't been used to their greatest abilities, and that's the same as YouTube that we've also found. Here's just a little stop animation that we have done. We completed this last week. We can obviously do a bit more better, but this is just a little example of what we can do.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love that Lego. Lego's the way forward. Nice.
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 Now obviously
Nice.
as you've seen, there's a bit of camera shaking and
That's
the lighting
awesome.
isn't the
Yeah.
best, but obviously if we take a bit more time, we can definitely implement that into our videos.
Yeah.
Sequence.
Alright, video editing. Video editing is when you're using colors and shapes to create an image that looks very pretty. And you can do this without a physical camera whatsoever and just with programs. And video editing, now this isn't our video, but we currently have the programs to make these types of videos. This is just an example.
These are our future prospects and what we'd like to see.
Awesome.
We'd like to have workshops to teach others. So our original idea was to have workshops to teach kids in younger grades,
Mm-hmm.
but we would like to just pull back from that a bit and just be able to do animations or effects for videos, whether it be on YouTube or on other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we'd like to do YouTube videos for tutorials. So we'd just like to have like short, small little tutorials on how to do, whether it be animation, whether it be any effects, or whether it just be creating a beautiful photo like the one we saw before. And we'd also like to have different platforms for sharing our videos, whether that be YouTube or social media of any type.
Now we took a little survey, and our first question, we surveyed a grade of Year 6, Year 5, and Year 2s. Our question was, if you could learn how to make a stop motion movie, would you love to do that? And in total, out of the 3 grades, 63 out of 87 students said they would love to do that. And our second question was, how many of you have done a stop motion movie before? And 14 out of 87 have done it before. Now obviously this is a very low number, and we would like to improve upon that.
This is our minimum viable product. We'll just basically be posting tutorials on YouTube to explain how to do a stop motion movie, or even just adding effects to a small little video that anyone can make. Would we like to post at least once a week, just so we can kind of push ourselves out there a bit more. And we'd just like to have quick and easy videos for education.
UVP. There is no business like ours in our area. There is businesses that specifically focus on one area, which is either photography or video editing. But with our business, we do it all. We do video editing, we do photography, and we can do animation. And like I said, there's no competition in the area on the Sunshine Coast. There is competition in other areas of Australia, mostly Melbourne.
So these are our startup costs. We'd like to be able to get cameras and program licenses, which are definitely estimated to $2,800, which is a lot of money. But even if we can just start with program licenses, then down the track we could definitely end up getting more equipment to make better videos and movies.
Our marketing strategies. We would like to create our own website which people can come to and book workshops for larger amount of people. And then people could also contact us directly, so they could request us to make a stop motion movie or edited photo for them. Thank you for watching.
Awesome. That's it.
Well done.
Good.
Social media.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the programs that you need the licenses for? You've mentioned that you need program licensing.
I think there's Adobe that we need, and Adobe is a certain amount per month.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we can get that in school. I think we do get those apps in school, but if this was an out-of-school product in a few years' time or so, then we'd definitely...
So you're talking about Adobe over here?
Yep.
Okay. And the stop motion animation, I believe you guys have done that?
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Yeah. And how are you planning to how are you planning to generate income?
Currently we have 2 businesses that would like us to make stop motion movie animations for their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously just they request a certain style of animation, so it'd either be with Lego or like clay or something in case they want it to be like more fluid. And then they would ask us to put in like either their theme song or their logo or their product,
Mm-hmm.
and see one of the stop motion characters doing it, and then we send it back to them, and then they pay us for like an hourly rate of how much we worked on it.
And how long does it take for you to create that one?
That one took about
It was 2 or 3 hours.
2 or 3 hours to make. So
The
it
Lego
does,
one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
so
or
it does
3
take
hours.
quite a while to make a short video, but it does turn out pretty good looking. So
So you've actually got 2 potential customers willing to pay for your stop
yes.
animations, start animations. Well done there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, congratulations. You know, are they small businesses on the coast? Are they individual people? You like to
I
say?
believe one of the people that requested actually, because the way we got it was actually from Fish Tank a couple weeks ago, where there was
Okay.
more little mentors.
Yep.
And I believe Claire Smith, that's here
Mhm.
today,
Yep.
is one of the people. And then we also have one other, which was, I think Ricardo, I don't remember his last name, but yeah, he's
Cool.
for Backslap, his product.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Raphael.
Raphael.
Raphael. Well done then. That's really good. It's always nice
Yeah.
because as when we listen, we like to hear the words validated by someone liking your product. Yeah, I like it, don't get me wrong, but when someone says, oh, I'm willing to pay some money to do this, then that's like a really big, it's a big gig
Yeah.
when we listen to you, and congratulations there. My couple of queries is, at the moment, you mentioned obviously, maybe Adobe cameras, a couple of grand for different bits and bobs, but you've done your stop-start animation, and I can see it. So what did you use to do that?
We borrowed cameras from ICT in our school, and then we set up in a little room, just a little setup with like sheets as like a background, and then used also Lego from the Mrs. Wolstein from her class, because she works with littler kids.
Yeah, cool.
So you've mentioned clay and Lego.
Yes.
So those are all borrowed items at the moment. So you do not have them as.
We do have a little bit of Lego personally, but we haven't used it in our animation yet.
Okay.
We do have access to a few products, but we'd like to be able to get new products, as ours have obviously been used when we were kids, so they don't look as bright and as nice.
And how much do they cost?
Like a set would cost around $20 to $30. Just a small one with like a car and a few props. So
Love Lego.
even just like
Yeah.
it's
It's the
made
best, is there?
yeah,
It's genius stuff.
something small, so we can get a few videos out. We have an opportunity to do so.
And who's the competition in Melbourne?
I don't exactly remember the names, but it's more localized in Melbourne, mostly because it's a bigger city and then there's a lot more businesses that would like it there. But they do only like not stop animation, but they do video animation, which they just use a program that draw it, and then they just keep going with the drawing, and it
Yeah, so it's
forms a
hand
little
that
bit.
hand thing.
Yeah, so it's not actually stop animation like we're doing.
Okay.
My couple of things, can I share it?
You go.
My couple of things. One was a suggestion. If it was to try and find Lego, I just thought about it. There's enough garage sales, and because everyone thinks I need to go and get the new Lego off, Coles or wherever.
Yeah.
Where it's them. So I thought, enough older children have now trying to get rid of their Lego, or mum's going, get it out of my house. You could probably pick up as many Lego sets, hopefully for $5 at a garage sale or the Facebook or Gumtree. And I thought repurposing and finding Lego and stuff could possibly be a really cheap way of doing it.
Yeah.
And then my second part was when you're talking about I've written down the execution design, what you're trying to then go forward doing with. You've got the idea of making a workshop to teach others, I like that. YouTube videos that you can upload as tutorials, and then a platform for sharing videos. And it sounds like there's quite a lot of different activities, and I wonder if you're going to be better off harnessing and honing in on one specific thing to do to really be able to get it, or do you think you can do all three in your sort of time sequence? What's your if you had to choose one of them, what's your best version?
It would probably be the YouTube videos for now, just because it connects to a
wide
wide range
audience.
of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And YouTube doesn't have to be a specific account. You don't have to have an account
No.
to be able to
Upload.
jump straight on.
So, I'll be quick because I think we've got to wrap it up. But with your video, when you do your pitch, you've got to add sound. Like that was a massive fail to not have sound and make it fun. Like make it funny. I don't know what's going on with the cops, but if you could spend a little bit of time and make it funny, then when someone sees it and thinks I could use it for advertising or whatever it is they're going to use it for, they've got to warm to it.
Yeah.
And you've got such a short amount of time, like probably 15 seconds you've got. If you don't have any sound, you really missed out on that. So I think that needs to happen. You also need to work out, like what Chris is saying, exactly what you're trying to sell, as in hone in on a particular thing. And you can't say your competitors are in Melbourne when you're saying that it's on, and it's not here on the Sunshine Coast when it's on YouTube, because people are going to watch that all around the world, and your revenue would come from that. So that doesn't really make sense. If you're doing workshops face to face here, I mean, they can get on a flight and come up at, $900 or something. Like, it's not a big deal if they're going to get a $7,000 program they're going to run to teach people how to animate. So I think you need to just, if you could just sharpen exactly what you're trying to sell and sell to, you've got something, because you've obviously got the passion, you've got the skills, you know how to do it. But yeah, you need to hone it in a little bit more. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be quite to be honest, I'm interested to see what you're going to do for those two businesses, because I might be jumping on it. The other thing that when you create videos, what content, what's the message that you will be sending across? Not for businesses, but like you said, YouTube, you'd be loading videos. What would you be doing then? What sort of information?
I mean, we could have obviously a series of what it would be based around, anything that either anyone wants to see, or it could be based around, fun stuff or.
So how are you going to get that information? How are you going to get those ideas?
I think we could probably maybe find other videos that people have made, or if there's a way to find out how to push ideas into.
That's where my suggestion comes in. On your website, put in a suggestion form. So sometimes they write a poem.
Yep.
And you analyze that poem. They analyze the poem and they said, "Why don't you make one?" It's a free idea for you.
Yep.
And if you've used Powtoons,
Yeah.
it has that capabilities. Now, of course, you guys are going to be creating this, but Powtoons is your competitor in the market. So, and they have that logo over there. So you might want to think about in the future how you expand that further. So those are the two suggestions from me. Happy to do the consultation as well with you on the business model.
Thank you.
And I'll give you $20 towards. I can do another video, and get some sound and make it fun. And you're going to get a lot more people interested in the program in general. Yeah.
I'll give you 40. And I hope you can get that camera, definitely, and your website up and running. You might want to analyze the market quite clearly, because there are cheaper ways to create quick. WordPress is very easy to do. I can guide you again over there, but create the website, get it up and running, connect it with your, use Hootsuite to connect you with your social media. Quite easy, but it's just a matter of how you're going to use it. So there you go.
Can I give you $25? And I think if you've already got two potential customers for me and some actions on for me, don't do something different and try and 4 or 5 different ideas all at the same time. Get doing those ones and learn the benefits of those ones, because you've got quite a lot of good ideas. And I've actually put down a lot of high marks across your entire business case, by the way, on this, because you've actually come to the table with an idea, something you like, and quite a lot of different ideas of executing it. And I think it's quite an impressive slideshow you've done.
Thank you.
I do.
Yeah.
Best I've seen today.
Very impressive.
A
Yeah.
very impressive way of structuring, telling us what your plan is. What you had there is a very good way of presenting.
Thank you.
So well done.
Thank you very much.
You're live.
So this is just a video to introduce something about our pitch.
Looks quite nice.
Sorry we don't have any sound.
That's alright.
Is that a brownie, is it?
It is
Chocolate.
And that's where it cuts off. Sorry about that, we're not exactly sure why.
Okay.
Cool.
Good morning, Shark Tank. I'm Lillian, and this is my partner Brioni. And as you probably already guessed, our project is based on cooking, and we are called Yomi.
Yomi is a social media and internet presence dedicated to sharing our love of cooking with the world. As a product of Lil's and my creativity and love for the culinary arts, Yomi aspires to make fun, educational and inspiring videos for the youth and young adults of our generation.
Our passion is cooking, sweet and savoury, healthy and not so much. But most of all, our passion is simple and easy.
This is why Yomi's recipes will centre on simple ingredients and preparation so that we can show the world just how many recipes are ready at our fingertips at a little cost of time, money and effort.
By publishing videos, we teach people how to make healthy meals that won't impinge on a tight budget or schedule. We aim to reduce the rates of obesity and other related problems. We want people to know that they don't have to buy unhealthy fast foods for a quick, cheap and easy meal. We want to teach people how to make simple, healthy meals at the comfort of their own home.
To give you an idea of what our social media and internet presence will look like, here is a slide showing our logo, colour scheme and font design. For our logo, it is obviously a cute design, a cute dinosaur wearing a chef's hat, and he has kind of a home chef vibe to him. The logo is cute and endearing, yet it's also sophisticated, like sleek and minimalistic, so it has a sophisticated vibe to it as well. Now that we've hopefully given you an idea of what Yomi is and what we're passionate about, we'd like to introduce some of our ideas and goals for our videos. First off, our target audience is young adults with small kitchens, tight budgets and tight schedules. Thus, our recipes are designed for simplicity and ease. These will include lots of one-pot dishes, microwave meals, food preps, essentially recipes that require little time, fewer ingredients, and less washing up.
However, even if our videos do meet a specific audience needs from what we have discussed, our project still deals with a fairly saturated market. This is why we felt it is important to come up with some recipes that stray away from conventional recipe videos that you'll see online today.
One idea is our split-screen homemade versus takeaway idea, where we show our audience how fast food favourites can be made just as quickly, cheaply and easily at home, with the added bonus of being healthier. We would also like to experiment with videos that utilise unique cooking methods, such as cooking full meals in rice cookers, frying food on clothing irons, and 3-course meals using only limited ingredients. These kinds of videos could be similar to the internet challenges that are popular at the moment.
Some of our ideas have the potential to connect to merchandise, like our recipe book idea, which starts with a video with a physical recipe book spread on the screen, and then it will transition using some movie magic into a recipe video.
This kind of video would encourage viewers to buy our recipe book if we were given the opportunity to make one in the future. To give some information on the video that was playing before our pitch, that was essentially Yomi's first video and was mainly based on us testing our limits with our methods of filming, lighting and editing. On screen is some of our behind the scenes pictures, and as you can see we were dealing with some very limited resources, and so we had to innovate quite a bit. This video helped us gain an understanding of what we require in terms of skills and equipment. Right now, we may not need to buy any filming equipment at first because we do have access to the school's equipment, but we still do need a stand, which may cost about $200. We definitely also need someone or something that can teach us how to properly use this equipment, as well as money to buy ingredients and cooking implements. For ingredients, we're looking at about $100 so that we can spend $20 on ingredients, a maximum $20 on ingredients for each video, of which we plan to have 5 up by the end of this year. We'd also like to have a good set of kitchen tools that are visually appealing to help us stand out on social media platforms, which may be around $50 from things like Target or similar stores like that.
Our short-term goals at the moment are to create Instagram and YouTube accounts, an email and a website as places where we can post our future videos, which we have the aim to do before the end of this term. Thank you for taking the time to hear our pitch.
We look forward to hearing your feedback on how we can better make our vision for Yomi a reality.
Wow.
Very good.
That
I'll
was
go
great.
first. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Love the brand. That's very good. I do have some advice and tips further down. I've got a few questions before then.
Yes.
You've mentioned about I've heard microwave,
Yeah.
and I have also heard rice cookers and ovens. I have been a student in school, so very recently.
Yeah.
I've just graduated, and microwave is not really the best of the options in terms of healthy, because your target is healthy.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think microwave is
It's a
the
conflict.
ideal.
Mm.
Yeah, it is a conflict of
Yeah.
communication.
Okay.
The message is not clear. Rice cooker, on the other hand, perfect.
Okay.
Oven, perfect.
Yeah.
Anything on stove, perfect. But you know, I love the idea that you can create the same burger at home when compared to, and that's amazing. How did you make the videos?
So we have.
How did you make this video?
Yes. So this video, yeah. So we didn't have a proper camera. So
Yeah.
what we did, and we also didn't have any sticky tape or stands to hold up our phone, which we use for the camera. So we ended up using a Ziploc bag, which we put my phone into, and then we blue tacked it to the cabinet there, and
Love the
filmed it from
improvisation.
above.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Is that
Love
mum
it.
helping?
Pardon?
No, that's her.
Oh, is that you?
Yes.
That's
Oh,
you.
okay, sorry.
Yeah. And we've also got a lamp which we stuck in the
So
cupboard.
what
Cupboard
is that?
restaurants.
What's that screen?
That's my light board. It's like used for like sketching, like yeah.
To create extra
Okay.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
Very good. And so you created, I assume, with iMovie or something like that,
Yeah.
in order to create it. Great. How many people are on board with this activity? Have you done a survey in your classroom?
We haven't done a survey in our classroom because that's not really our target audience.
Who's your target audience?
So we're looking at young adults and like uni students who
Mm.
have like
Yeah.
small kitchens. But we haven't had the opportunity to, like, because of time and because of limits on our schedules, we haven't actually had the opportunity to go out physically and take some of those polls. Some
Yeah.
of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So my wife has recently done a course with a lady called Ashley, and she runs a thing called the Kitchen Coach. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Kitchen Coach, but basically she was a chef, and now she's running these coaching classes, and they actually come into your home and do what they call a pantry flip, where they do all sorts of things where they basically call out all of the foods that are carcinogenics basically in your pantry that you aren't aware of. I love it or hate it, they moved our microwave into a more inconvenient spot so that we didn't use it as much, because if you actually go back and actually read about what the microwave was initially designed for, it was a weapon, I think. So not actually designed for food. And we all use it occasionally, I know that. But yeah, you definitely got to get away from microwave if you're going to go down this health road, because you just get torn apart if you try to say that you're healthy and you're zapping it, you know. So that's going to be a brand problem. 'Cause I think your branding is the best I've seen, probably bar none, on Shark Tank in the last 3 years. That little picture that you made up, I don't quite know what it is. It looks like a moose to me, or backwards moose. You probably
Dinosaur, she said.
Is it a dinosaur? Okay. Kind of looks like a moose from here. But I thought it was clever, and it just, I felt like it was fun straight away, so that you've ticked a massive box there from that. I'm definitely going to give you as much money as I possibly can. I've only given out 20 today, so I'm going to ask Rob if I can do more than 40. I'm not sure if you're allowed to, but you know, because if we're allowed to give 120, we're definitely going short. So anyway, I would like to give you as much as possible for you to be able to buy your video. I think you're really onto something. But you do need to, I want you to go home, if this is the only thing you're going to remember from me, I want you to go home and go to the Kitchen Coach. You can sign up to a free webcast from her. I could probably introduce you to, I know I'm stitching myself up now with a meeting, but I can probably get you in contact with Ashley. She's a really lovely lady on the Sunshine Coast. She works out of like Forest Glen, and she's now selling where basically what you're talking about, but she does it slightly different. So yours is more to young adults, which is great. Hers is more based towards families. So there's definitely still a niche there. So I don't think it'd be a conflict for you to meet up with her. And she's done really well with it. And I also know the guys that own Food Matters as well, which if you Google Food Matters, it's quite an interesting read about your body.
They've done well.
Yeah, they've done really well. And they're both on the Sunshine Coast. So you've got two really big players in the food health kind of window. So I think that if this is something you're passionate about, you could do really, really well with it. I don't think it'd be that hard for you to get your videos up, but you do need to potentially speak to the tech guy at school and actually work out how to slow your videos down to the right speed so that the average 24-year-old can actually understand and get it. And you've got to introduce sound definitely into your videos because it was boring without the sound. I have to make because you're missing.
It is a good MVP.
Yeah, but you just got to add it in, And the other thing was, I don't think I'm going to give you any more because you're going to forget everything. But yeah, Kitchen Coach and Food Matters. Google them tonight. Do some research. I think you're onto something.
Right. Now from my end, the stunt you're talking about, a lady does some pottery and she makes it for $50 or odd dollars. I'll connect you with her. I'll certainly give you some consulting time because I can see the potential in it. Connect you with the accommodation so that you can do your survey. So you go ahead and do your survey and get a feedback so that you know exactly what audience you're targeting and what their needs are.
Yeah.
You've mentioned about the ingredients in the kitchen. I'd assume you would be using your own pantry for that. So I don't know, it is a give and take over there because ingredients, I would assume you would be using whatever you got in your pantry instead of going and buying something. What you can actually add to your list of things is that a rice cooker, how much does it cost you, where did you buy it from? Not so much for an influencing perspective, but more so that student, they usually go ahead and buy. So if you land in the country, you've got $20 you need to spend, you need to know what exactly you can get. So for what for breakfast, what for lunch and dinner. So that would help. So I can certainly help you with that aspect as well.
Thank you.
What I really liked was your branding and your presentation. So hats off, you've done a great job on that. My tuppence worth is the bit that I took away was that creating something for simple, easygoing recipes is your unique selling point. Is a really it's not necessarily unique, but it's a fantastic way of doing it. And the thing that I spoke to a lady the other day who runs quite a large Australia's #1 bestseller book is a lady called Kim McCosker, and she does a series of cooking books called 4 Ingredients, and they're made of 4 ingredients. Now it has been the #1 bestsellers for the last 10 years. Okay, and I just spoke to her about a week ago. Now, she's based here on the coast, she lives in Caloundra, and the reason she's a bestseller in Australia every single year for her cookbook is because it's got 4 ingredients. And I used to think, well, surely you need 15. No, you can do it simple, and everyone's like, well, I've got potatoes, this, that. So my advice, having watched it, follow her online. She's called Kim McCosker, and it's called 4 Ingredients, because I can see you doing a video version of her, and you're doing it for the young 22 market, and she's doing it kind of for a broader spectrum, and she's got an international American following. She publishes in 12 languages, Spanish, French, so she's got a big audience. But if you're doing a video following, what she does well is she's got potatoes, eggs, flour, and this, and she goes, right, let me bring you 5 great recipes with these ingredients. And I feel that you could do, instead of you having to buy meat, this, and spending $100 on groceries, you could get 5 videos, and you'll say, well, actually, here's 5 good videos with these list of 5 staple items, potatoes, eggs, whatever. And I think that would be, I would watch it and go, right, what can I do with my 5 things in the cupboard today? And you've got 5 meals. And that's why she's made, she is doing extremely well. But she doesn't do it necessarily videoing, she does it by a recipe book. So I'm really impressed. I like to give $40.
Yeah, definitely.
We're impressed.
Yep.
I think we have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Because we're getting the wind up. But
Every time a member of your family flies on a plane, you are at risk to death to a drone. Dangerous drones are entering airspaces and intercepting flight paths of incoming planes. Here is a short clip of what a plane can do, a drone can do to a plane.
it's a good idea.
CASA, Australia's air traffic controller, has yet to discover a way to detect these drones in real time. There are monitoring devices out there that detect drones, but what is the point a week later when you are dead? Good afternoon, I'm Jack. I'm the leader of in the group. I'm also the knowledgeable one of the group. This is Connor and Brody. Connor is the knowledgeable one about the technological side of things, and Brody is our researcher. Our business idea is called Drone Free Zone, DFZ for short. We all here are very passionate about drones and technology, but we recognise the danger of drones, and that is why we are together.
As you know, As you know, airports are at major risk of being attacked by drones, but they aren't the only place that is at risk of dangerous drone activity. Some others are warehouses where information is spied upon and sometimes goods are stolen. Prisons where drones have delivered narcotics and other contraband into prison. There is the technology that stops and detects drones, but there is a major gap in the system where really dangerous drones can slip through and they can cause a problem and major harm.
Yeah. So as Jack said in the intro, there is a number of operating systems out there at the moment that CASA does use, but they do not detect all drones and do not provide real-time feedback back to CASA. So it will be out there in the field for a week and someone will come and check it and pick up the drone activity, which we found was kind of pointless. A week later, there's no use for the information. So we wanted to come up with an idea that would deliver real-time data to CASA and any other authorities that wanted to have the information, and have a system that would work for every drone out there. I came up with an idea to use sound frequencies of a drone. So as it's flying through the air, the propellers make a sound to get them in a certain frequency range, to do some tests, and then formulate a program to signal us when it's found in that range. So we did start testing this idea, but we still haven't had any conclusive data as of yet to confirm this idea, but we are working on it, finding certain ideas. But all we really need is assistance in this and any contacts to anyone that might help us formulate this program and idea a bit further.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So what do you need? What do you need investment for exactly? Because so if we gave you some money today, what would you use it for exactly?
We would purchase other sound technology to identify better sound frequencies and data like that.
All right.
To actually find our data.
So, and what do you love, like aeroplanes or drones, or like what do you love more? Like do you excited about drones in general? Do you like them?
Aviation in general for me.
Is
that's something
that's your
career
thing?
path I'm looking into.
Okay.
Aviation.
I'm
And
into drones as well. I'm also looking to a career path with drones.
okay. All right. So this is something that you're all passionate about. Are you also passionate about it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's technology.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Look, I think you've got some big challenges to try and come up with the technology, but it is obviously possible, solvable. I think government's probably going to go down more of a road of just finding people to within an inch of their life on a safety kind of thing to be able to stop it, because that's normally is a good deterrent, but I understand it is still a problem. That video that you showed of the aeroplane being hit, I've heard of planes being hit by drones, where the drones are smashed to smithereens as well. Was that just one video, or was it, what kind of plane were they using?
That plane, it was a passenger jet.
Okay.
That wasn't. It didn't hit the wing, though. It actually hit the top of the plane, but tore a hole through it. The plane didn't crash though.
Right.
This was a while ago. Just putting it out there. It was going at 248 miles an hour, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
While landing.
Yeah.
It's definitely a serious issue because I know on a bird strike, you know, sometimes the bird hits an engine, plane goes down, and the bird hits the cockpit, not so much happens. Same probably with, I guess, with a drone.
Yeah.
What's the height no fly zone now? Is it like 1,000 feet?
In Australia, it's 120 meters.
120 meters.
Yeah.
Because even that came in quite late. You know, everyone's talking about these zone drones, and now they're going, oh no, keep it below 120 meters.
And you can go above that.
I saw one you can go to 1,000 feet very, very quickly on these. I saw one that took about 4 seconds, and it was up, gone. I like the t-shirts, by the way.
Yeah.
So well done. You've come in with a no drone policy or a fly zone policy, and I like the aviator glasses. So you're playing for the part. So I like the look. The technology side, and I understand. You know, we've got to keep below 150 meters or whatever it might be. So the only my worry in my mind is I understand the concept and the problems, and you've shown what the issue is to a plane, and the governments and laws say don't want to fly these high because if it gets caught in a helicopter, you know, you've got a problem. So my worry is that we've talked about the sound technology. This is quite big stuff. Can you elaborate on anything more, or any other idea, or any other mechanism, or what you've done to somehow stop either the drones going too close to planes, or for you to monitor going to planes? And if you do monitor them, how do you then let the drone operator know? So because that's what I see as the crux of this business.
Yeah.
And
without that, it's nothing.
Without that, we are, you know, and we're being quite frank. Without that, that's your key to getting a safety drone supply. You know.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate any more?
So in this Delorean program, we were asked to make a minimal viable product, which was from Jack's original idea that he came up a couple of years ago, was to have a full system that shut it down, which is what we're aiming for.
Shuts the drone down.
Yeah, it shuts.
If it gets too high.
Makes it drop.
Yeah. When it's detected, it just sends a signal out, interference in it. But for our
so there's an altimeter. Is there an altimeter in the drone? It goes as it goes up too high, like because you could do that. You could go to the drone suppliers and say altimeter goes inside the drone, and you just curve it, and it says when it gets 150 feet, it no longer goes up. In the same way, you know, if you've got a car, you used to drive removal trucks during holidays, and a removal truck, no matter how hard you press the accelerator, it goes to 60k an hour, like it or lump it. So is that an idea instead?
It would be, definitely, but in the cases of people who make their own drones, it would be useless. Because I made my own drone and it could easily hit that altitude in a couple of seconds. But
so
if you
they just override it.
Yeah, if they wanted to get that hard to take a picture of a plane, which people do, they just build their own, put a big camera on it, and it will bypass that system pretty easily.
So the idea or the product that was done, was that a sound wave that would shut the drone down, or what was the product like?
The original idea, or was it
the original idea?
The original idea was we didn't really go too far into it because we didn't like that idea and morphed against, but I think it was a frequency that shut it down. I think we talked about.
So if that one is within these parameters, it would shut down regardless of the height.
I think it was also including the height as well.
Also including the height. And what was the product? A fence?
Defense. It was
a defense.
Yeah, it was to be placed conveniently around areas such as airports.
So what is it? Is it a device or
It's a
is
device,
it?
that's-
It's a
yeah.
device.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that is your best option because I'm thinking and I was like, where is your prototype?
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking from that perspective, what is your prototype? But at the same time, I'm going to say, we have established. You have an assumption that the government does not want drones in certain areas, but you might want to inquire with the businesses where there is warehouse, etc., houses where the drones are being flown, and ask within that vicinity, what do you think about these drones are here? Do you feel an impact? No, don't care. Yes, it's infringing on my privacy, etc., etc. We don't know who it is. Who does it belong to? So you need to inquire that particularly. Now I do not know where the areas of drones around on Sunshine Coast is, so you might want to ask. I'm not sure where they fly, but if you want to know, ask them. And within that community, surely there's a community on the coast.
Yeah, there should be.
Yeah, ask them that where do you live, how is it, do you feel annoyed, definitely near the airports you might want to inquire over there because that's a security feature that if we put in, so these are the devices that we're selling, and then you can go back to the government and say, okay, we've got this in place and this is a prototype and this is what it happens, and you fly your drone and it comes down because of that device. So that impacts the prisons, the government, the airports, whatever the security, defense areas, whatever it is. Because at this point in time, I do not see a product and I do not see how you're going to validate this. I need it to be validated. So you've got quite some work cut out for you. But at the same time, yes, the idea is very much valid because it is a real crisis. So
I agree with Azra. It's a tricky one, and we've got to be very diplomatic because we also want to see you succeed. And I totally love that you got passion with aviation, you want to be a pilot or into that space. So, rule of thumb, do things you're interested in because it only helps you going forward. But as Azra said, it'd be really helpful, and this is the tricky part, is to understand what the key deliverable will be. And I feel that this idea of sound technology is a tricky one, so to speak. At this sort of level, and the two or three ideas I had, just to query them, I do understand that people can make their own drone, but some form of altimeter that goes into each drone, in the same way that I can take the compressor off my accelerator, but it's illegal. If you get caught, and I can also drive with bald tires. It is illegal, and so whilst we can always have someone who's going to break the law,
less people will do it.
Then I would say nobody. Most people. I was at Pontcarra yesterday, and this drone was zipping around, and I would say that he's not looking to go to prison tomorrow or have a fine. They just want to. So doing things doing something that is possible. And the other thing I wrote down was, is there a way of putting a GPS inside each drone? Now they've already got GPSs because they can monitor where they are relative to you, but can they say, well, the GPS, because you don't have an alternative, they say, look, we went above your 150 feet, and it signals to a control server and said, look, the operator has gone above that. Now that means you don't need to code, you don't need to organise, you don't have to do anything, there's no sound technologies, you just have to see if the current GPSs that the drones have, which they do because they can follow you, track you, you can move around, could somehow put that data that they went to 1,000 feet to a server or platform, and it says that operator, he was naughty. And it's a bit of a name and shame game. At which point you are not looking to try and create a huge technology, it's already there, you're just trying to harness that data. And that's all I've written down because I'm trying to work out my mind a mechanism that you guys can get going on this project.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a tough one. What about a drone? There might be drone clubs on the Sunshine Coast where you actually go, have you been to any of those yet? Because they're not your customers, but they're effectively going to be the people that you're going to try and limit. So sometimes the enemy is your best friend. Like, as in, you need to kind of find out, you know, what do they say about it, and that might help you with your answer. Oh, we don't do that anyway because of such. We know what the rules are. It's possible that, you know, there's always going to be rogue people. There's always going to be, you know, terrorists trying to crash drones into planes or whatever. That's going to happen no matter what. They'll find a way around it.
Yeah.
If you maybe what a business model that might be there is actually a drone safety school. You know, where I've got a drone, but I need to get a license, so I've got to pay these guys $40 to get my drone's license, and I'm going to go through all the lists of things that you can do. Because at the moment, you just literally just go down the shops, and it's like going to Walmart in America and buying a shotgun. Like, you're good to go. It's crazy that they don't give you any limit or anything like that. There's no training, nothing. You can buy a $5,000 drone, go to the airport, and literally just straight up, which is madness. So maybe if I was you, I think the technology of trying to send out a blast or whatever to shuttle the drones down is a long shot.
It's too ambitious.
It's a long shot, okay? It's possible maybe, but maybe the IT guy might tell me otherwise, but I think it's a long shot. Setting up a licensing, I don't think anyone's doing that yet. You know, that could be quite lucrative as a business, and it's still within the scope of what you're trying to do. It ticks a safety box, right? The government's going to be like cheering because you're fixing a problem. They'll probably give you grants and funding and God knows what to make it happen.
Are you saying like a half-day teaching course?
I'm actually saying like a forklift license, you know, like an RTA for drones.
Teach me how to be safe with my drone.
And a safety school. I don't know. That's just another idea, and I think for me, that's a more legitimate business in the scope of what you're talking about, and it may just actually help less accidents, or potentially even help more than a sound blasting that may or may not be able to actually be made. Yeah, so that's what I'd be doing.
I do have to agree. I think the biggest, I'd love to just go gangbusters and say yes, you should be doing the sound technology. In my honest opinion, it's quite advanced, it's highly technical, and in the scope of this sort of Delorean project, it would be a tricky one. But as Luke mentioned, setting up a half-day masterclass, and you become the pioneers of what safety drone is, how to fly safely, how to identify. There was a kid, I don't know how many people you've seen on the surfing waters, they're flying these drones at about 6 feet off the water now, as that surfing point car ride. So maybe there's not just a height, maybe there's a lowness as well, that you can create a quite a nice presentation and a tutorial. And I had a friend over yesterday he's called it his L plates on his drone. Good Lord, you actually need to have a little bit of time to learn to fly them, right? I wanted to get him close to our second thing. I want him looking in the window because, I don't want to get caught in the guttering. So you could also turn this, the way to monetize this and turn this into your business. Here we give you safety tips, we give you top tips, we put a YouTube video together, you get a signature form saying you've done your training via us, and you've got half a day to sit out back, and we'll teach you the best practice on how to learn to fly a drone. And create a $30 thing, because otherwise someone's smashing up their own drone. If you own a drone,
yes, I have a drone.
You got a drone.
Are
you any good at flying them?
Pretty good at flying.
Are you good at flying? Right,
I reckon this is a good idea.
There's a million people who are terrible at it. They're absolutely hopeless. There's a guy yesterday in the car park, Fraser, literally looking at it, he goes, I said, this is what I want to do. I was trying to do a little video. And he goes, no, I'm not confident to do this. Right? Because there's stuff. If you are good, if you are okay at it, you could teach someone how to fly a drone for the novices. And I would pay you, I honestly would pay you to teach me that.
Yeah, I'd go, actually. If there was I'm quite interested in drones. I like the idea of them. They're exciting, and I think they're going to get better, and we'll be literally flying around in them eventually.
Like that,
so, but imagine, if you could,
you can make that into a real business.
If you could do a half-day course, and the other side of the business that you could actually do as well is that a lot of people will come and they'll be like, I haven't bought one yet, right? And this is where you're actually going to make a ton of money, because you'll be like, have a deal with the wholesaler, you have a display one there, and you go, I can have this to you, you know, this afternoon. Or you can have some stock. If you can't afford to have stock, I understand, but you could at least get like a display model. You might be able to actually link in with a drone brand and actually go, I'm going to do a half-day course. We're going to promote your drones. They might give you a free one, and they could be worth thousands of dollars. You'd be like absolutely cheering, even if the business stopped there, you know. But I think you could then sell them to people, so they come in complete novice, and at the end of the day, you're going to walk away with your drone license, your brand new drone, and all the safety requirements that go around it, and then you're kind of fixing a problem as well. So
the other thing that, I mean, of course we're providing you with ideas. The other thing you can do, instead of a sound blast that you'd mentioned, a vibration. So the moment it is there, you know, the sound waves, they call them, sound waves that can shut the drone down. So that can be implemented in all aircrafts. So for example, so the moment it comes close, because that's what's the problem is at the moment. You know, the moment it comes anywhere close, and it can be very small, so it deters it and goes down because there's an aircraft flying. You know, and that can be a lucrative model as well.
Yeah.
For, I mean, that's what you're
initially we're trying to do. Yeah.
But instead of a sound blast, it's true that sound blast would be quite a noise issue, but sound wave and
well,
deterrent.
the vibration could work, but then if the drone's above the plane when it comes under, it drop down. So it's not necessarily dropping down, not necessarily.
No, anyway from away from the plane. It has
away,
to go,
so it just kind of tries to escape.
Deterrent.
Vibration. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a thought again.
These are ideas we're throwing to you, so you can have an option to try and further this project. And the only other thing, I know we've got to wrap it up, but we're not 20 minutes, is that in the safety of drone tutorial, I like that idea, and it sounds like it could work. You know, you work out in your minds what you'd like. The learn to fly a drone, I think it's a great idea. Give me $20, and I've just written down here, because I had this yesterday, how to edit the video. Do you ever take video footage from your drone?
Oh yes.
Do you edit the video footage?
Yeah.
On Corel Draw, Adobe, or whatever it might be, Video Studio, right? I had that question, I've had that like 50 times. We do our own little editing, and everyone always goes, oh, how do you edit a video? You know, and you could, if you go up, 90% of the people, they take the drone footage, say it's a surfer, you've probably seen them all over one car, right? There's always a little drone. How do I edit the video? Bring in, you could even add in an extra $20 of some, because I've got some right now tomorrow, for free, it's a friend, wants 2 hours of my time just to try to edit video footage from a drone. I was like, well, it's not that difficult. But if you've already got them there and you say, look, I tell you what, I can edit the video and I'll show you how you do it, because people like the video footage from their drone. So it's just an idea, another way of trying to monetize and make a commercial business, so to speak. But that's just an idea. I don't know if it's it might not be what you're interested in doing.
There you go.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
Can I give $15? I think I'd like to see you further this. I'd like to give you $15 Delorean to sort of create, to take your project to the next step, whichever path that may be. That's cool.
I'll give you 10, and I hope you'd use it, because I assume you'd need a website.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so that's for that.
Yeah, and I'll give you $20. And I think, I just think you should look into other ways to solve the problem. You need a lot more research. I think it's just some quick feedback. Did your parents tell you to go in and shake everyone's hand?
I didn't.
I like
myself.
That was very good.
I liked that.
Yeah. I think that's only happened once in the last 3 years, so that was an A+.
Kudos.
Really, really well. The fact that you got shirts and the presentation was good. So yeah, I mean, because confidence is everything, you know. So if you can do that, I reckon you could teach people how to fly drones safely. Whether or not you can actually do that, other technology will. Look, keep trying. Don't give up.
No.
But that's like the diamond in the rough. You know, it'd be amazing. But you'd have to. You might want to actually meet up with your mathematical gurus, those other kids, because
they'll code it for you.
They might be able to code. They might actually. There's what was the math magic guys?
Magic.
You might need some assistance from them, because I think they might actually have. you know, a little bit more understanding of how
If
to
you're
get
going down
there,
the sound technology idea.
potentially. Yeah.
But yeah, grab your
Yep.
DeLorean.